to prepare all of us for the return of the Savior whenever that is programmed to occur.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. 19 July 1840, Joseph Smith gave a sermon that Brigham Young refused to have published. In my designed scripture format, verse 6, "Then the enemy shall come as a thief in the night." Joseph Smith is commenting on his previous revelation parable, section 101, verse 51, "And broke down the hedge, and the servants of the nobleman arose and were affrighted and fled. Thus the enemy did scatter the servants abroad. And when the seed of these 12 olive trees are scattered abroad, they will wake up the nations of the whole earth. Even this nation will be on the very verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground. And when the Constitution is upon the brink of ruin, this people will be the staff upon which the nation shall lean. And they shall bear away the Constitution from the very verge of destruction. Then shall the Lord God go and tell the servants who are the strength of mine house, my young men, my middle-aged, etc. Come to the Lord of my vineyard, the land of my vineyard, and fight the battle of the Lord. Then the kings and queens shall come, then the rulers of the earth shall come, then shall all saints come, yea, the foreign saints shall come to fight for the land of my vineyard, for in this thing shall be their safety. And they will have no power to choose, but will come as a man fleeth from a sudden destruction." Then he tells us that Brigham Young is going to be that very enemy that will seek to destroy the Constitution. Thus Brigham Young was pissed, refused to publish this. But for some reason, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints published this in the Joseph Smith Papers. Is an official, authoritative document that needs to be placed in our Doctrine and Covenants. In our United States Constitution, all citizens have equal rights and protections for life, liberty, and property. If they are accused of criminal behavior, of taking away life, liberty, or property from others, then there is a prescription outlined in the United States Constitution for due process. A warrant must be issued, and a speedy trial by a jury of peers must commence, and a defense counsel be provided. Any government agent, officer, or actor that violates due process is what the United States Constitution declares as an insurrection against the United States of America. The punishment is removal from office and death. It has been reported that those being detained by ICE and processed for deportation are 60% citizens who are denied due process as outlined in the United States Constitution. Therefore, we have a government insurrection on our hands by the government. The prescription is removal from office and death. Or the Constitution will fall. And American citizens will no longer have rights. The Declaration of Independence states that when such a government coup is operational, it is our right and duty to overthrow such government and to restore it to the Constitution. In the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Amendment number 1, is religious freedom. Joseph Smith talks about Brigham Young, who in the future, for his branch off, is going to attempt the coup and the insurrection from a religion to destroy the constitutional rights. Section 134, verse 6 or 7. We believe that rulers, states, and governments have a right and are bound to enact laws for the protections of all citizens in the free exercise of their religious belief. But we do not believe that they have a right in justice to deprive citizens of this privilege or prescribe them in their opinions, so long as a regard and reverence are shown to the laws and such religious opinions do not justify sedition nor conspiracy. This was in Joseph Smith's 1835 Doctrine and Covenants under government. So, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints leaked of the words of Dallin Harris Oaks. March 14th, 2020. When he declares to brand new mission presidents only, which was not to be leaked to the public. Even Oaks's interview yesterday, the video was an edit, but they did provide a full transcript, maybe, of the interview in text form. Nonetheless, this was not to be given to the general membership. Oaks specifically said it only to the brand new mission presidents going out for 3 years. My mission president was called into the General 70, which was before the General 70, after 2 years, or at 2 years. And so that had confused me into thinking that they too served a 2-year mission. Nonetheless, 3 years. So Las Vegas, Nevada, on Saturday, he said that what is going to be happening to the United States of America in 2020 is not going to be Armageddon, the end of the world, but merely a test, a trial run for the second coming. He said it in Chiasmus, which was a memory device of the Jews for which President Marquis was able to remember it and write it down and put it in the letter to stake presidents and parents of his missionaries. And Sister Jessica, getting a copy, posted it on her mission website. In November of 2024, a Mormon YouTube creator found it, having learned that Oaks had said back in October conference, "In a coming day, Jesus." Not knowing that Nelson had said that several other times ever since he took over. This now exposes the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as being the ones in control of and orchestrating the coup and insurrection against the United States of America as a religion, for which insurrection, the prescribed constitutional penalty, is removal from citizenship and death. Not to mention disorganization of the religion. Are we going to follow the Constitution, Mormons? Let's keep going. Church is so true. Verse 10. We believe that all religious societies have a right to deal with their members for disorderly conduct, according to the rules and regulations of such societies, provided that such dealings be for fellowship and good standing. But we do not believe that any religious society has authority to try men on the right of property or life, to take from them this world's goods, or to put them in jeopardy of either life or limb, or to inflict any physical punishment upon them. Life, liberty, property. They can only excommunicate them from their society and withdraw from them their fellowship. The Deseret News, October 2nd, 1993. Elder Dallin Harris Oaks. Him again, huh? Former prosecutor and Supreme Court Justice and former apostle in the quorum of the 12 apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, now the president of the whole church, the head of the church, who he keeps insisting is Jesus Christ. So he's calling himself Jesus, is he? Oh wait, yesterday he called himself the burly man, the one mighty and strong from section 85. As we've always called him, the man like Moses, the prophet. Elder Oaks explained that local leaders are informed by church headquarters about members who may possibly be violating church standards. The Strengthening Church Members Committee pores over newspapers and other publications, and now includes the internet and social media. And as I did in the video yesterday morning, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints owns and operates AI Google. It's theirs. They control it. Because they put in that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the one and only true church on the face of the earth. You missed that video, did you? You're still listening? And identifies members accused of crimes. So if they deny members due process, they are making accusations against members, going against Joseph Smith, preaching false doctrines. That's assuming that yours are true. Criticizing leadership, even if it's correct, or other problems. That information is forwarded on to the person's bishop or stake president, who is charged with helping them overcome problems and stay active in the church. So in 2008, I, as an American citizen and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, was being attacked of my rights of life, liberty, and property by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the government of the state of Utah, who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, without due process. I filed a petition for a redress of grievances with the state of Utah about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and their violations of my rights, and warned them of a coming economic disaster. And demonstrated that the church is lying to its members concerning translating the Bible correctly. And asked that I be left alone as an American citizen, for which the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, led by the head of the church, the man like Moses prophet, the burly man, one mighty and strong, the Christ, Jesus, Monson, and all those under him, ordered and paid to have me denied due process, for which 6 years of my life I was detained for the sole intent of murdering me. This insurrection by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the government of the state of Utah as an insurrection, the penalties prescribed in the United States Constitution is the dissolution of the church, the removal from government office, and death. And my rights fully restored. It's the Constitution. It is either the law of the land or it isn't. We believe in being subject to kings, presidents, rulers, and magistrates, and obeying, honoring, and sustaining the law. Or we don't, because we are not of Joseph's religion. And yeah, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not Joseph's religion, because they don't follow him. You kind of have to follow what you are. If you're Baptist and you say that there is to be no baptism, then you're not Baptist, are you? It's real simple. So, this is why I go over the news with you. Because I know that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are the enemy. That they are cooing America. And I am warning Mormons about this coup from the leadership. That if there's any Mormon out there who does not want to be complicit in this coup, to get out. I keep repeating to the church leadership, let Mormons go. Who says that? Charlton Heston, right? And thus, knowing of the whole plot from 200 years ago, and all the way up to now, knowing all the scriptures, knowing, warning, I go over the news. Since the second coming of Trump. So, over the weekend, tens of thousands protested in just the state of Minnesota. ICE must go. But is that the constitutional prescription? No. ICE must be removed from office, from agents, and death penalty. They are forming a coup in Minnesota, in Portland, in LA, in New York, in Texas, in North Carolina, in Maryland, everywhere. All of ICE formed by So there is no constitutional amendment or declaration of the identity of police. They're illegal, unconstitutional. There is for a militia, there is for a military force, but no ICE. It's required to be in the Constitution in order to legitimize their existence. And it's just not there. And so all of their ticket giving, unconstitutional. The United States Constitution says if you're going to accuse us of anything, you need a warrant. Patrolling the streets and pulling people over and ticketing them is unconstitutional. That's an insurrection. March 2003, United States, after 9/11. History of ICE by ICE itself, or Wikipedia. Because they're just saying March. See, following the September 11th attacks. Homeland Security Act of 2002. But it was not made in the Constitution. So yeah, LA, Sarah Saldana, with that scary smile. Do you not know how to smile? You're not practiced in the mirror. For our archive records. They are still required as a government agency to follow the United States Constitution and serve warrants. American citizens are not to be jumped to the conclusion of being terrorists. That would be foreign agents who have crept into America, for which they need to know their identity. They can't just go house to house, going school to school, church to church, etc., looking for anybody who might or might not be on the illegal list. Still have to follow the Constitution. But police came from what used to be security guards back in the Wild Wild West to protect the trains for the banks carrying the money. And so they were established in a town to protect the bank. And then it became the new normal. And then it just replaced the militia over time. The militia is constitutionally protected. The sheriff's department is not. National Guard. They say, well, that's the new militia. Well, where is it in the constitutional amendment? We have an amendment to clarify who humans are, both women and blacks, specifically anybody of color, are now considered human, which was a no-duh, but, those slave owners. But even though many of those slave owners are our founding fathers, they put into the Constitution to end slavery. People tend to forget that, to try to coup the government, demanding reparations. And the United States Constitution had the prescription to set blacks free from slavery, Chinese free from slavery. So sorry, no more reparations. You have been given your freedom. If our government is failing to adhere to the constitutional rights that you all have, then that sounds like a coup and an insurrection and sedition. So there are prescriptions in the Constitution for dealing with such government denial of such persons' rights and freedoms. Utah and the whole United States, from sea to shining sea, all rose up to protest ICE. The Civil War has begun. PBS Weekend says that they finished their final show last night. I thought it was all of PBS. Maybe it's just the weekend, as they're losing their funding, and so the weekend is now going. PBS was great for the labeling of the dates of their programs. So I guess no more weekends. But yeah. Federally funded. Trump is cutting off all federal funding. He's shutting down the federal government. Thus, the Book of Mormon is getting fulfilled. The Book of Mormon is so true. Right, Mormons? Because the Book of Mormon says it's not literal history. It says it's a book of visions, of prophecies, predictions of the future, thus after April 6th, 1830, and calendar dates and clock times of Revelation. So, chapter 1, Lehi's vision from Revelation chapter 12, which is also Isaiah's, and it's all over the Jews, days and hours of the coming of the Christ, the Jewish Christ. See, Jesus, no man knows the day or the hour of his coming, because he's Hamuzion, not real. But the Jewish character named Jesus, yeah, he too is the Jewish Christ. And the same calendar date and clock time, day and hour of his coming. 23rd September 2017 to be precise. Hey, that already happened. Nonetheless, Mormons don't believe their own Book of Mormon. They deny the gifts and powers of the Spirit, seer, prophet, revelator, translator, spirit. So 3rd Nephi chapter 7 is supposed to have been 2020. But Oaks changed. Said we're going to just run a test instead. I've done the videos explaining what happened. And why it's now. But nonetheless, this is what they're doing now, when the test run was in 2020. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land. But in the same year, yea, the 30th year, they did destroy the government, and upon the judgment seat did murder the chief judge. The people were divided one against another, and they did separate one from another into tribes, every man according to his family and his kindreds and friends, and thus they did destroy the government of the land. Now all this was done because they did yield themselves unto the power of Satan, and the regulations of the government were destroyed because of the secret combination of the friends and kindreds of those who murdered the prophets. So Joseph Smith knew he was going to be murdered because he had to read the Book of Mormon, just like all the rest of us do. He had to learn, line upon line, precept upon precept, if he's going to be the founder of the Church of Christ, which in 1834 was changed to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. And then in 1838, Travis, it was changed to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. No, that was the coup against Joseph by Brigham Young. The one who had him murdered, the one who couped his church and turned it Christian. Dumbasses. Descendants of the god Dan. But to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name Dan, we, the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, use the name Jesus to frequently repeat. So, now that this has already happened, as a test run at least, we know that the election in 2020 was not supposed to produce a president. He would not get sworn in on January 20th, 2021. And that the Chief Justice Roberts was to be assassinated. America, as the United States, were then to be the divided states between MAGA and Antifa. That they would agree to run their states as a nation with no federal government. Gone and destroyed. The United States Constitution falls. But how are Mormons going to restore the Constitution? You all read it to investigators from the Book of Mormon as a missionary. You just interpreted it wrong. You didn't use the Spirit. Chapter 11. Duh. That's how we know that chapter 7 is 2020. Because this is 2024. Talking about 8 April 2024's sign in the heavens from Revelation 19. From Judges 16, I think, where Samson takes down the great and abominable church at the temple. Not the building, Bruce. Temple. The Greek temple of the abomination of desolation. Bruce. So here, now it came to pass that there was a great multitude gathered together of the people of Nephi, round about the temple, which was in the land bountiful. Yeah, Zion. So, Nephi, the people of Nephi, he's the man like Moses, the prophet, the burly man, one mighty and strong. Mormon. They are in New Jerusalem in the United States of America, Zion. And so they finally figured it out. Oh, the Book of Mormon is not literal history, that the sign is a Mormon? What? I thought he was from Kolob. Oh my God! No! Dum 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 dum. You cannot be saved in Zion in ignorance. It's in the scriptures. We believe that. We teach that. Bye, Holland. Hasta la vista, baby. He will not be coming back. Section 131, verse 6. It is impossible for a man to be saved in ignorance. There you go. In case you are an unbeliever who doesn't study. So, Musk's grok had people who were producing art of a cartoonish nudity and I guess sex acts. I don't know. It's wrongly called porn by evangelical Christians in 1900 after failing to force all Americans to believe the Bible is literal history and to replace science fields in school. They went on an idolatry kick across America, making a list of what is evil idols and what is good idols, and acts of goodness and acts of evil. And so, the image of a woman is declared evil. Sexual reproduction, evil. So does the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints believe in that. Interesting. What a coincidence. I'm sure it had nothing to do with thinking, hey, let's get evangelicals to convert to Mormonism so that they can pay us for our coup in the future to fund terrorism and an insurrection. And so Musk says he's fixed the problem, he's reprogrammed it, and everything's better now, all is well in Zion. Nope. Still doing AI sex porn. And if you've forgotten, Musk has been found in the Epstein files. And Alyssa Grenfell didn't do a thorough research, but has found a connection of a Mormon who stepped in after the death of Epstein to provide Musk with his little child trafficking girls to keep that going now that Epstein can't do it anymore. And a coincidental accident with a towel during a camera blackout for 2 minutes. Yeah, it's very strange and coincidental, but I'm sure there was no conspiracy to the assassination that was performed. No, not at all. You know, he exposes all world leaders, high-profile corporate leaders, religious leaders. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Abortion is now illegal in Wyoming. Oops. Remember rights to life, liberty, property? Can't do that. Wyoming is violating the Constitution. The Wyoming legislature and governor, who signs it into law, have committed an act of insurrection against the people of Wyoming. The prescription in the United States Constitution is removal from office and death. Democrats, with this ICE uprising, is now threatening to shut down the government again. This time to defund ICE. Hey, this is what they wanted to do in 2020, that test run year with the Black Lives Matter protests. Defund the police. And now ICE. Wait a minute, Dems, aren't you in government office? Don't you have an oath to follow the Constitution of the United States of America? And this is what you're planning? A coup of the coup? You're not getting the point. We are in a civil war. The Federal Reserve Chairman Powell came out with his own video on YouTube and reported by all the news. He's now under investigation for criminal activities. Yep. Trump was warned, don't do that, leave him alone. It's an independent agency. Nope. Because to remove the Federal Reserve chairman and to put in a person who will cover up and hide, lower the interest rates when they shouldn't, will cause a collapse of the economy. We're already getting misleading reports of the jobs report and employment. Specifically to cover up and hide the true economy that's tanking. But the stock market is going up, record-breaking. That is not the economy. That's the little gambling operation of the elite to launder money for criminal activities. Hello? So, because of the protests called riots by Trump in Minnesota, not just sea to shining sea, Trump is sending 1,000 more troops to Minnesota. The government of Minnesota is not acting quickly enough. Hesitation is causing more harm. You needed to immediately arrest that officer and give him a speedy trial. The whole world saw the evidence. So yeah, this is going to be a quick and easy verdict. And the death penalty is required. Aggravated charges on top of his dereliction of duty. And insurrection. But here comes the Civil War to Minnesota. It's going to make an example of them. And so, yeah, don't be surprised if they start shooting people rather than detaining and not using tear gas on teenagers at high schools. Shooting children, shooting women, shooting anybody protesting, shooting anybody who's in their way, even if they voted for Trump, by AI projections. In the state of Utah, again, the cops are shocked that they got a tip about a massage parlor in Cottonwood Heights that's committing prostitution. What? What's prostitution? It says it's paying for sex. Don't we do that as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Paying the church tithing so that we can get married and then thus have sex to turn on our little factories. Yes. And yet the news places this as a rare thing that's occurring in Utah. But these guys, they're Mormon. They know the practice. And so if it's okay to pay women for sex, then hey, we can get a business where people pay women, thus us who own the women, our employees, to have sex. Hello? Emulating the living prophets of Jesus. Just like pyramid schemes. I mean, MLMs. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who pay tithing to the church, pay to go on a mission, and recruit others to join the church to pay the church tithing. That's a great business idea. I think I'll start up USANA. I will start up doTERRA. I will start up this, and I will start up that. The church does it as their business model. I'm going to do it for my business model. Do you not see how the church is criminal? It is emulated by the fruits of Mormons. Chad Daybell, Laurie Vallow, Brian David Mitchell, Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby Franks, everybody who is criminal just emulated the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. See, Jody Hildebrandt was helping Ruby Franks teach repentance to the children. Just following the example of the church. The fruits of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are manifest in the Mormons. So yes, the soft swinging of the sexual lives of Mormon housewives, the little teens, the chicks from Rick's. Why'd you change the name? Oh, it's BYU Eyes. I got your eye on BYU Eyes. That's stupid. Chicks from Rick's was awesome. Going to the chapels to have sex. But wait, you have a temple. You're paying tithing. It's already set up for you. See, back in my day, when I went to Rick's, the chicks from Rick's, across the street from the temple, in those apartments, had lady red lights. I was told that when I got up there. Yeah. They have red lights. They're paying for their education at Rick's. Just like the Women Gone Wild. They had to pay for their education at college. And all those college girls that went into porn. And now we have OnlyFans. That makes it easier for anybody, even single moms, to be financially supported. Support your local single mom. Used to be at strip clubs. Church had those canceled in Utah. Or at least the Salt Lake Valley. I think the one in Roy still is operational, isn't it? I don't know. I think the church doesn't care about those in Roy. That should concern you guys, if that is the case. Nonetheless. So, yeah, Captain Obvious moment. Utah police are also warning about the increase in gang violence. Really? We just saw it on the news. The gang shooting at the funeral. Yeah, no duh, gang violence has escalated. Thank you for the Captain Obvious stats. KSL, they had to throw in a weekend thing, didn't they? The psychology in America came from Nazi Germany. Operation Paperclip was the official designation after the CIA had been secreting them into America prior to. And thus MK Ultra for the drugging version of it. There were other human experimentations done. And Utah took them in to perform human experimentations on Utah Mormons. Because Utah Mormons are all about word of wisdom. So let's test how the word of wisdom Mormons can endure human experimentation, torture. And so that's why Utah is the number one for women who take depression drugs, that's shortening their lifespan, and for the number of treatment centers, and for the number of psychologists, and all those in the field. You know, Jody Hildebrandt, she was just a counselor, therapist, self-helper, whatever they call themselves. It's all under psychology. All from Nazi Germany. And with the help of a Mormon, Stanley Smith Stevens, who created the false dichotomy categorization system with the false non-dichotomous categorization system as well. Spectrum disorder, as you've probably heard the term. Spectrum is trigger word for inhumane torture of humans. Thus, a criminal act taking away life, liberty, and property, and therefore, when performed and approved by the government, is an act of insurrection. The prescription in the Constitution for such government actions, government-sponsored actions, government-paid for and funded operations, is removal from office and death. Not just Jody Hildebrandt and all those who are sexually abusing their clients in just the state of Utah. But KSL is again using the bullying tactic that they used in the 80s. KSL, or psychologists back in the 80s, were experimenting with how to get clients to fund their operation. Because popular movies, Die Hard, Terminator, Lethal Weapon, were all vilifying psychology. We're the good guys. We're thanking our American liberators. And so they tried to scare people that religion is mentally retarded. That gays are mentally retarded. That women's menstrual cycles is mental retardation. Anything and everything they could, trying to find a way in, trying to get suckers and losers to pay them money. Going to parents. Hey, is your kid mentally retarded? Call us now. And if you call within the next 20 minutes, you can receive this free Ginsu set. It cuts a tomato. Oh my God. Yeah, conversion therapy was employed for gays. All of this, they name, call, and bully people. And they repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over and over until people believe them. And once people believe them, they're trapped. They are now in psychology for the rest of their lives. Psychologists say there is no cure for your mental retardation, but we're here to help you with your problem. They're name calling and bullying you. And so it is abominable that KSL pushes psychologist promotion. in all of its aspects. They are taking away life, liberty, and property. They are not a legitimate business. They are an act of terrorism. Insurrectionist group from Nazi Germany. And so the bully group of conservatives, like my white supremacist Christian nationalist peers, we're doing the same bullying tactic, name calling and bullying, repeating it over and over and over and over and over and over and over to try to make people accept the bullying name calling. You're gay. You do that, that's gay. You wear that, that's gay. You say that, that's gay. Everything was gay, 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 to try to get people to be convinced to be gay. My uncle, yep, he fell for it. He had married a Barbie doll wife, had 3 Barbie doll daughters, and then during the 80s, I'm gay. Because they say that you're gay if you, as a man, like to do women's work. Really? What's women's work? Having babies? Oh, the abusive stereotype of staying home, cooking, and cleaning. Because I didn't want to be with my brother and dad on the farm. I wanted to stay home with mommy and cook and clean. Therefore, I must be gay. Sorry, Barbie doll wife and Barbie doll daughters, I'm abandoning you. And I'm going to live with a man whom I masturbate with. Because that's who I am. I was born that way. You bleeping dumbass. I caught Buttigieg in an interview where he too confesses that he fell for the bullying, name calling. It is all a psychological fraud, people. Now, if you want to live with somebody of the same sex, masturbate together, you have the constitutional right to do so. The government is not allowed to punish you for it. But you can't deny science nor commit crimes. Just stupid. See, science talks about sexual reproduction of humans. And they have categorized this to explain. This is sex ed, in case you didn't know. This may be foreign to all of you, especially those who are Mormon. That for the sexual reproduction of humans to take place, it requires 2 sexes. Only 2. A female who has egg and a male who has seed. The seed from the male has to penetrate the egg of the female. So, yes, it doesn't have to be the man penetrating the woman. It's all about the seed penetrating the egg. So, sperm donation centers, egg harvesting, yeah, they can take an individual sperm and place it into an egg. In vitro fertilization. Test tube babies. That is still sexual reproduction. It's not about the vessel, it's about the seed in the egg. That's it, that's all. And the resulting baby is sexual reproduction. There is no other way to produce humans. None. We are not amoebas. That is asexual reproduction. We are human. And that is how it is done. Nobody is born another way to produce humans another way. Star Trek lied to you. Andromeda lied to you. Which was the same creator, Gene Roddenberry. This is not complicated. So our public school systems need to be teaching this. Religions must back off. Because if you are denying sex ed, calling it of the devil, you're forming a coup. An insurrection against Americans, especially forcing it on those who are not of your religion. But psychologists went a step further. For all those they deem mentally retarded, which is everybody. Once they got the groups to accept that they're mentally retarded, they're still getting bullied in society. And so they're scared. They're afraid to come out of the closet. So psychologists step up to give them feelings, like spiritual witness feelings in religion, for bravery and courage, to demand that the government be cooed for exclusive rights just for them, and then bully society. Shame on you for thinking there's sex ed. And for the others. But most of it seems to focus around sex. Even though Utah has expanded into other criminal acts as mentally retarded. And we now call our veterans mentally retarded with a veterans court. And so yes, these psychological groups that was portrayed on SNL, being given free advertising by them on a news channel, are talking about how mental retardation is now a stigma. Just pure evil. See, this reinforces the falsehood that the psychologists perpetuated from the beginning. Oh, you can't judge us. We are a discriminated category. You already had rights equally in the 14th Amendment, Section 1. In harmony with the rest of the Constitution. But to clarify it, the 14th Amendment was written. and ratified. And so now being a blonde is a stigma. Being gay is a stigma. Being poor is a stigma. Being a criminal is a stigma. Being an alcoholic is a stigma. Being addicted to porn is a stigma. You need to allow us into your society. Exclusive rights just for us. I was born this way. You can't judge me. So the Secretary of Treasury is rewarding people who report fraud. Hello! Been doing it the whole time. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you dumbass. So yeah, this isn't. It's just a show. They're not really going to reward anybody. They're not going after the people that are committing the fraud. It's all the Nazi propaganda. Hey kid, join the Nazi Youth Battalion. Sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah, I caught it when Nelson organized it in his first talk with youth that summer. Do you want to know how, kids? If you had run the test and found out that he was the false prophet that he is, you would have kept your kids away from him. So, Fox News is calling all of the Minnesota videos, even the officers, deepfakes. Dear God, to justify shooting citizens in the face without a trial. Come on, Fox. You want rights. And yet you're declaring that no other person gets rights? If they're the enemy? Come on. I see through the con, but this is the insurrection that is going on. And yeah, same for all others. Not just for religions that commit insurrection, but for the press that commit insurrection. You know, the press that go to Islam, to Gaza, to report on it. No, they're going there to die for Allah in this holy war. And so yes, the doctors are Islamic that go there. The press that is Islamic go there. The charities are Islamic that go there. Duh. No wonder they're saying over and over again, Israel is the bad people, we need to exterminate them and Holocaust them. No duh. Because they're Islam. There's a bias. They want to ignore the big picture. So who's responsible for the fighting? It's not a matter of choice. Who's literally responsible? Who's to blame? Who caused it? You can't deny the truth. You can't deny the historical facts. And the Jews always come out on top because they're innocent. And so what the Jews do is self-defense for their existence. And yet, people vilify them when they defend themselves. How dare you defend yourself? How dare you try to get your land back? How dare you? Knowing the origins, knowing the causation of the false prophet Muhammad, who claims to be the Jewish Christ, who claimed he went to the top of the mountain to receive the 10 Commandments, the Quran, with his Friday prayers in the afternoon, or the noon prayers of Judgment Day. But, yeah, after the failure to destroy Israel, the various Islamic groups in different locations are now fighting amongst themselves. Book of Mormon is so true. It's not just for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints by Alyssa. The lioness roars! So, war is escalating all around the world. The United States of America is no longer the parental controls on the world. And there's some debate as to whether we were justified in doing that, and we weren't. But with the United States backing off on certain places, wars have erupted. Protests have erupted. But Trump is also causing problems. And so when he causes a problem, he then solves the problem by committing crimes. And I made that clip after he said it. Let's bring it up. Trump crime. Trump, quote, "We're gonna fix it with crime." There at a press conference. Trump says those Freudians often. He leaks like a sieve and then blames others for leaking. Trump. It's so funny if it weren't so criminal and corrupt and destroying America and our whole lives. But yeah, 3 Nephi chapter 7, Trump was put in for that end. And so he's now attacked Syria, and of course he claims it's ICE, Islamic State, not ICE in America. People need to stop calling them ISIS. They are not ISIS, they are Islamic State. IS is Islamic State. Stop calling them ISIS. They are not ISIS. ISIS is an Egyptian ancient goddess. Stop it. Islamic State, funded by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They did it again. The church funds Islamic terrorism, and Trump goes and bombs them. With the rise in the protests, there's also a rise in people using vehicles to run over ICE. Civil war has begun, guys. Even though it's in the lesser levels, the beginning stages. See, the press is quoting from the protesters saying, "We use whistles, they use guns." But eventually the protesters, if they're going to survive and exist, are gonna have to get some guns themselves. case you didn't know, they're open seasoned on you. So, Mr. Grok Porn is so kind and generous with his AI porn that he wants to share it with the world. And when he learned that Iran had been cut off from the internet by their government, Musk stepped in to provide Skynet. I mean, Sky... whatever. So that all Iranian citizens are free to observe the glory of AI porn on Grok. He's such a great guy. And Trump in The Art of the Deal. He talks about when the con is up. His whole book, Art of the Deal, is the art of the con. So he says, when your con is up, when people are catching on and they're closing in on you, this is when you cut and run. You close down the system and you run and hide. Lay low and then start up a new one. And he has done that his whole life. True to his book. And this is the part where, as president, while running this art of the deal on America and the world, the officer who shot Renee in the face has greatly escalated. I mean, 10,000 in just Minnesota, and from sea to shining sea, rose up in protests against ICE. Even in Utah. Everybody is turning on Trump. Everybody is still pressuring for the Epstein files to be released. Everybody knows and wants Trump out, not just ICE. The con is up. Trump was put in to fulfill 3rd Nephi chapter 7 because they oopsied and ran a test run in the year that they were supposed to do it. Because of the hesitation and the delay, things are not going as well as they wanted. But if they can trigger the Civil War, it will be worth it. But the con is up. And so Trump has to do everything he can to stay in until the Civil War gets started. That's what he's doing. Because once the Civil War happens, yeah, his mission is accomplished. But he failed in 2025. Even the press came out and said he failed. I told you he failed. Nelson told you he failed. Oakes told you he failed. The church is the ones responsible for all of this. And they're telling us Trump failed. I told you it was Trump who is Jesus, the second coming. Everything that the church prophesies of the second coming of Jesus, Trump was doing, but he failed. And so 1,000+ protests from sea to shining sea. Iran threatening World War III for the United States if they go in and defend the protesters, as Trump said he would, and he didn't. And now he's still considering it. Are you going to do it or not? You going to pay us or not? You're not. He now extended it back to the end of this year. He won't do it. The one thing he will not repeat from 2020 and 2021, giving Americans money. He won't do it this time. He keeps bragging that he's going to do it. He keeps saying that he does it through other means for exclusive people. You know, like stripper moms. No tax on tips. But not for all Americans equally. I want to be a stripper mom. Support your local single mother. So yes, Oakes's comment about Burley yesterday, which was recorded on Saturday. So yeah, he did go on into Burley on Saturday and was there in the temple doing the interview. They had the prescription for both days, and Oakes blew it. Get your Deadpools out again, Mormons. Welcome to the jungle. I warned them. And then, yeah, they'll be getting to work at 8-ish because the employees downtown, and then probably for the 70, maybe, I don't know. I know employment will have a devotional that they all have to mandatorily attend. And so, yes, there are, with the 70 that go down there in the Strengthening Church Members Committee, that will have members as service missionaries or hirees. They will have to attend that devotional meeting every morning. How do I know about that? And then they'll slowly get to work, usually around 9. I know the prophets don't have an 8 o'clock devotional. They don't participate in that because how do I know about this? My one-on-one with Nelson. Yeah, you didn't watch it, did you? Yeah, I had several one-on-ones with Nelson, one of which was in the Salt Lake Temple doing initiatories and replacing Nelson when he finished his, and then I went in. And so I knew, because the ordinance workers were saying, yeah, we got to get him out of there so that he can get off to work at 9 a.m. But they usually don't hold their Thursday meeting until 10, and so they go to work at 9, and then 10 is when, yeah. But employees have to be there at 8 for the devotional, and then typically it's 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the amount of babbling they have to say. It's all worthless. And they do prayers and hymns. You're doing prayers wrong. You got to use the Spirit. But anyway. And so, something to pay attention to today. New York nurses are on strike now. 16,000 nurses just went on strike. You need to remember that not too long ago, Trump declassified nurses as a legitimate career field. Oops. Consequences. Here we come. Judgment Day is now upon America and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In the coming day,